Yes, so we'll continue from where we had left. So we were in the council guidelines. Okay, we can have one very quick recap from the flow chart only. So when the council has issued a guideline in the year 2008, okay, so there are a lot of things were not clear. Okay, it was not mandatory. So they brought certain guidelines. So chapter 1 is talking about the preliminary things. It says that this guideline is called 2008 guidelines. Now due diligence was not part for the employee CA. So chapter 2 brought that employee has to be due diligent, just like a practicing CA. Otherwise, they will be responsible for the gross negligence. They omitted these two para. Then books of accounts has to be maintained, cash book and ledger. And we had just learned that there is a limit of 60 tax audit per person. So if it is a in case of common partners, then the total limit is for all the people. Okay, and you are practicing in your personal capacity also. It is for all your personal capacity plus partnership firm. So aggregate limit is 60. So audit under 44 AD, ADA1, AE, these are all not considered. Head office and branch is one if you are doing both the audits. If head office auditor is different, branch auditor is different, that is two different tax audits. Partner is not considered, and each year audit is a separate assignment. You should maintain a record of how many tax audits you have completed, and one partner can individually sign all 600 partners, 600 reports if you have got 10 partners. Okay, so this is what we had learned in the previous session. Clear? So now we will proceed. You remember, students, there was one clause that you have to communicate with the previous auditor. Okay, what was that? That there is no professional reasons I should not accept it. So what was the professional reason? One of the professional reason is section 139 and 140 have they complied with, particularly the removal. Second, undisputed audit fees has been paid. Third, have you issued the qualified opinion or modified opinion? Out of this, see, people started to seek clarification. Sir, what is this undisputed fees? So can you please guide? And yesterday I sent you one real life case which has recently decided. Here, did you read it, students? You see, no one article student. You see how beautiful it is. Article student, after he became a CA, and which firm used the firm used to get one statutory audit. That firm only he got, and when he sent a letter, the firm came to know that they are shifting the auditors, and that firm started to tell that we are your auditors from so many years, we have done so many things, accounts are complicated, the new chartered accountant is inexperienced. See, I say consider this as a professional misconduct because you are disparaging, you are making one unsubstantiated comparison with someone. Okay, so they have pronounced that the senior audit firm is guilty of misconduct. Okay. So now, similarly, you remember, no students, we read all these things, sick units not applicable. From where that explanations came? It came from here, chapter number 7. So if you see there, they said as per ICA guideline. They didn't tell which guideline. This is that guideline. Same content you are going to read there. So auditor shall not accept if your undisputed audit fees is not being paid. So sick units, it is not going to apply. So who is sick unit? Someone who is more than 5 years old. And what is undisputed fees? In accounts signed by both the parties is considered as an undisputed fees. Okay, already we have discussed this. So we will move on. Now, C accepted the statutory audit of PSU whose net worth is negative for 22-23. Audit was conducted for the 22-23. Audited accounts were shown liability for payments of tax audit fees of 15,000 rupees in favor of E of the previous auditor. So tax audit fees was not paid. And okay, from how many years this PSU was existing, we can make an assumption it must be more than 5 years. So this is the sick unit. Okay, in the instant case, undisputed fees are unpaid, will not be guilty of professional misconduct because of sick units. Okay, if it was not a sick unit, then you would have been guilty of professional misconduct because previous auditors fees was not paid. Okay, and which tax audit? See, they said tax audit fees. See, through this illustration, they are telling us, even though it is tax audit fees, you have to see to it that the previous auditor's fees has been paid. Started audit of Arihant Limited 22, 21, 22 was done by CA Acharya. Arihant was existing since 2010. Okay, more than 5 years. Now, they instead of telling negative, they say figures in the bracket indicates negative value. Net worth we have to calculate. Okay, so this is last year, this is current year. Last year it was audited and the current year is unaudited. You see here, it is the -5, -3. That means you have got the net worth negative, it is the unit. Now, provision for the audit fees. In the last year audit, okay, it was signed and it is seen that it is not yet paid. So, you saw students how they can ask you the question, same question, how they can twist. Now, NAMI accepted the statutory audit of 22-23 in spite that the audit fees was unpaid. Yes, now you need to tell that. How do you know? Okay, see, they need not tell you that is unpaid and all. They can simply give you a balance sheet. From here only you will come to know that last year fee, okay, this particular fee has been not paid. This is current year provision. So it is a sick unit, that's why, and it is more than over 5 years old. That's why it is not guilty of professional misconduct. Yes, so is there a Q&A? Yes, PSU, we have seen this illustration number 38. Yes, that is the only one question. The next one is your specified number of audit assignments. Okay, this is exactly similar to your tax audit provisions. We have seen sometime tax audit. So same thing is covered here. So we can move quickly. Now, a member of the institute shall not hold any time more than specified number of audit assignments of the companies under section 141 of the Companies Act. So we know that you should not be holding more than 60 tax audit. So how many number of max company audits we can have? Do you remember, students? Do you know? Have you come across anywhere? Can you tell me in the chat? How much is the maximum number of audits, company audit, a chartered accountant can have? Rest every provisions are same. No? Branch audit, head office is same. You should be considered as one. It is applicable for one partner, one person, not one partner. So if you are in partner in multiple firms, then together, all the firms together, it is so and so. So anyone knows what is the maximum number? Do you remember in the intermediate somewhere have you come across? Okay, yeah, we'll see now. I'll just tell you. Yeah, very good. That's correct. Both numbers are correct. Now let us see what is the maximum number. Provided that in case of a firm, specified number is for every partner of the firm. So if you are a partner in multiple firms, then you need to aggregate it together. That means just because you are a partner in two firms, you will not get double. And you are practicing in your individual capacity, then also you need to aggregate. That means this maximum number is per person, not per partner. Now, what is that specified number? It says it is 30 audit assignments in respect of private companies or other companies with the exception of one person company and dormant company. So these two companies you should exclude it. Now, in case of chartered accountant in practice, 30 assignments per partner, whether irrespective of companies or other companies. Okay, that means in case of chartered accountants in practice, for practicing firms also it is 30 per partner. If this partner is a partner in multiple, no, total together 30. Now you might have come across one number, students, 20 somewhere in intermediate or somewhere. Who is telling 20? Companies Act is telling that one person should not be holding more than 20 audits. Company Act. Now, is it not a conflict that Companies Act is telling you should not hold more than 20, but ICAI guideline is telling you should not hold more than 30? Is it not conflict? But if you observe very closely, when you say 20 in the Companies Act, there are some exceptions. Who are those exceptions? One, OPC should be excluded. Do you have such exemption here also? OPC? Yes, you have got OPC. Second, a dormant company has to be excluded. Do you have such exemption here? Yes, dormant company has to be excluded. Third, small company has to be excluded. Do you have such exemption here? No. Okay, so now you are clear. What is the difference between 20 and 10, 30? What is that 10? 10 is your small company. That means under Companies Act, overall you can have 20. But small company, you can have any number as per Companies Act. But ICAI will put a cap now. They say that you can have maximum 30, including small company. So that additional 10 can be small companies you can take, not more than that. This is what ICAI is going to tell. Are you clear now? Yes. Now in computing specified number of assignments, you need to see whether the partner is single or combination. Aggregate has to be taken into account. Head office and branch is one assignment that already we discussed. And one or more branches you are doing, then also it's considered as a one, because it should be done by the same firm or the same practicing CA. If they are done by, each branches are done by different auditors, then each is a different company audit. The number of partners on the date of acceptance should be considered, taken into account, and part-time practicing CA is not to be counted. Only chartered accountant in practice, whether in full-time or part-time employment elsewhere, shall not be counted. Okay, so it should be full-time CA only, because you cannot devote the attention now. Okay, if we go back to the tax audit, what did they say? The practicing a part-time practicing partner of a firm shall not be taken into account. Okay, part-time practicing. Okay, who is a part-time practicing? Who is a full-time employment somewhere? But here, if you see, you should not be into part-time employment also. They have given in a twisted language. Ulta. They say chartered accountant in practice, whether full-time or part-time employment elsewhere, shall not be counted for the purpose. That means you cannot be into part-time employment also. A chartered accountant being part-time practicing partner also shall not be considered, who is nothing but a full-time employee somewhere else. And you need to maintain the record in the prescribed format. Okay, I hope it's clear, students. Yeah, here you need to see that part-time employment of a practicing CA is not considered, because objective. See, if you are in part-time employment, you will not be able to devote time. See, tax audit is different, company audit is different. In tax audit, you are going to certify the taxes, and it is directly your income tax is involved. They know the history, everything. But in your company audit, you are certifying the financial statement, and your investors' money is involved. So that's why they say that, okay, you should not be into part-time employment. You should be into full-time practice only, so that you become eligible to get the company audit. Yeah, because you need to focus. Yes, next is appointment as the statutory auditor. A member, okay, you see one more thing, they brought clause number 9. A member of the institute shall not accept even the statutory audit of a public sector undertaking, important. Government companies, important. Listed company, very important. Or other public companies having turnover of 50 crores or more in a year. Okay, if you see, all these are all important companies. If where he accepts other work or assignment with regard to the same undertaking on a remuneration which exceeds the fees payable to the statutory auditor of the undertaking. Okay, that means in such companies, your fees for non-audit work, other work, should not be crossing your audit fees. You remember, students, I told you Enron case. What happened in case of stat audit? You are appointed by the members. In case of non-assurance work, you are appointed by the board of directors. So your statutory audit fees is 1 crore. Non-statutory audit fees is 5 crore. Because board of directors gave you a bribe. The day you tell I will give qualified opinion, they will remove this assignment from you. Now you will be tempted now. Okay, so you will be tempted that, okay, I will have to retain this. Now, which is beneficial? This is 5 is beneficial. This 5 will always come as a package to 1. Instead, if this was 5 and this is 1, then you can always say, no, I don't want that. I don't take bribe. I will give my independent opinion, because you don't want to lose this. That's why they say that for this important type of company, your fees for the other work should not exceed your statutory audit fees. In case of appointing the authorities, regulatory bodies specify more stringent condition, then that is going to apply. If SEBI tells you something different, that's going to apply. Restrictions shall not apply in respect of other works or services payable to the statutory auditors and their associates concerns put together. The restriction shall apply for all the auditors and associate concerns put together. Okay, now please understand here. who are your associates? That is very important. Now, you have got one, this is one audit firm. You are a partner. Okay. And you are a partner in another audit firm also. Then this audit firm and this audit firm becomes associate audit firm. Are you clear? They say that the restriction shall apply in respect of the work, because what you can do, student, you are giving, this is the PSU, you are giving statutory audit to this. So this firm may not directly provide. Now this partner is a dominating partner in this AB and associates, or engagement partner, whoever it is, dominating or engagement partner. So the board of directors may tell them, look Baba, what I will do, I will give one assignment to your wife. You give me clean opinion. Or they may say that, look, you are already auditor or partner in another audit firm. No, I will not give work to this, because people will come to know. I will give you work to this audit firm. Some management consultancy service I will give you, which is permitted by section 144. There I will pay you 5 crore. This audit fees is 1 crore. So they may not directly offer to the same auditors, but they may offer this to the associate concerns. Now, who is your associate? That's very important. An associate is the one which is another audit firm, not your same audit firm, where the partner of this firm is also a partner there, or he may be a director, or he or his relatives may be a director or hold substantial interest, more than 20% in another firm, because there is something called a corporatization. We will see that 28 type of services. No, I just tell you what is corporatization, because you should understand how somebody is going to become a director. See students, you remember deemed to be in practice concept we discussed. In deemed to be practice, see, there was accounts work, there is audit work, there is a consultancy on accounting and auditing related issue. This is traditional audit. This is a traditional, from the time immemorial, this is what we are. Plus, because of the change in the time, and we can say this is more like in the form of an assurance. Audit is in the form of an assurance. But to come up with because of the changes in the circumstances, industrial revolution happened, different types of services have come. 28 type of management consultancy services were given. So one CA firm can give both the type of services. Now tell me, 28 type of services, is it that only CA should be doing? This should be done only by a CA in India, because of the monopoly we have got accounting and audit profession. But is that 28 services only CA should do? MBA can do, cost accountant can do, company secretary can do, engineer can do. But what problem, no? When you are doing the audit, when you are providing this service, you are bound by advertisement guidelines. See, you cannot do any advertisements. But your other company secretary, okay, forget company secretary, there can be, say, for example, an MBA who is also giving the same HR services. That person is doing left and right advertisement. Now you will tell, sir, you permitted me to do this, what is that? MBA services like HR services, cost optimization, ICW services, everything you permitted me, 28 type of services. But you didn't permit me to advertise. You are telling me that by doing that type, I will get audit work. You are bringing disrepute to the organization. So ICS thought about it, yes, correct, very correct. So what they said, look, we will learn it later, but just to tell you the context of what is this director in another associate limited and all, just to tell you this context, then they say, okay, I will do one thing. Have you applied for COP? Yes. So using this COP, you give only account, audit and consultancy related accountancy services. Only that service you give, where you are a partner. Agree? Now, I will permit you to form one private limited company. And the 28 type of services you can render through that private company. Don't mix your practice. And you want to give advertisement, right? You give advertisement for this. I will give you a separate guideline for this. But in the process, you have to strictly follow our advertisement guidelines. We cannot, because we already told, we believe that you should get work by your work, not through an advertisement. Already we have seen in clause number 6. But other things, okay, Baba, you can charge a percentage of fees based on the contingency. You can do advertisement because you are not competing with another CA. No, there you are competing with non-CAs. That's why when the tender comes, they said if it is exclusive area, unless minimum fees is given, you should not do. But for non-exclusive area, 28 type of services, you can just quote it. That's why this concept is called a corporate form of audit. Here, you cannot give any attestation service. Are you clear about this concept? Now, what they could have done, this partner could have set up one private limited company, and that private limited company is giving one type of management consultancy service. Or his wife, okay, as per accounting standard 18, wife is a relative. She must have set up that company, or he must have given this company in the name of his wife. And that company, wife must be giving that service, or she may be qualified also, she may be an MBA also. Okay, in such cases, that fees of maximum fees for this company is not only applicable to you, but applicable to your other companies also. Are you clear about this guideline very clearly? Yes. Now, for the above purpose, the other work assignment shall include the management consultancy and all other permissions work permitted by the council as per 2 subsection 4. You remember? Same management consultancy, 28 type of services, excluding audit under any statute, certification because your opinion is required, any representation before the authority. So these 3 things have been excluded. Now, who is the term associate concern means corporate body or another partnership firm which renders this management consultancy service or all other professional services provided by the council, wherein the proprietor or the partner of the statutory audit firm, this guy, he can be an individual firm or he can be a partnership firm of the he is the statutory auditor of a PSU, is also or his relative is a director, partner, or that jointly and severally hold substantial interest in the said body, corporate, or the partnership firm. Now, relative means as per AS 18, substantial interest means 20%. Okay. Now, A is the statutory auditor of Z Limited, which has got turnover of 200 crores. So, above 50 crores. It is a public company. They said no. Here, the last condition. Public company having turnover of 50 crores. Okay, it was not listed. Now, audit fees fixed to 50 lakhs. Now, company offers A, the statutory auditor, management consultancy services for a remuneration of 1 crore, not permitted. So, you have to quote now. Now, tell me, is there any clause there which restricts? No. Now, you have to quote ICA Council guidelines and chapter number 9. So, study this chapter because these are more like clause. Okay, and you should not have so and so, so and so. You can write the provision. In the case, it's considered as a misconduct. Now, Vayu is the auditor of Viva Limited, having turnover of more than 200 crores. Viva audit fees is 80, and he got a representation before income tax tribunal for 1.75 crore permitted. Why? Because it is not a misconduct, because representation work is not in your management consultancy service, 28 type of services. Representation is not part of it. It's just part of your audit work. Okay, is there any other question here? Vayu is the auditor. Okay, 1.75 crores. We have already seen. No professional misconduct. Dhanush is the auditor of Javi. The audit fees is 2.25 crore. Assignment of representation becomes the income tax department. Okay, again here also same question. I should have mixed this question together. Not be a misconduct because representation work is permitted. You can get more than audit fees for the representation work. Now, auditor has got a turnover, fixed is, okay, this already we have seen, 1 crore rupees is the fees. Next, appointment of an auditor when he is indebted to a concern. Now, already you have got some limits where in Companies Act, you remember, no? If an auditor is got indebted to the company, or he or his partner or relative, he cannot be appointed as an auditor. Baba, that is for a company. What if he is for a partnership firm? What if for a sole trading concern? Now, that's why ICA Council has come with the guideline. A member of the institute in partner of a firm or a relative of a member or partner shall not accept the appointment of an auditor of a concern. So if it is a company, Companies Act becomes applicable, while indebtedness of the concern or guarantee provided security for the limits fixed in the statute. Okay, so whenever you are accepting the Companies Act, whatever limit the Companies Act has fixed, whatever exemption they have given, that becomes applicable. Okay, but that is, if that is the case, we need not have brought this chapter 10 only. What if the cases when the statute is very silent? That's when they fix more than 1 lakh. So up to 1 lakh rupees indebtedness is permitted, okay, for any of the practicing CA, his partner or relative, for any non-corporate entities. D, conducts the tax audit under section 44AB and has received the audit fees of 2,50,000 on progressive basis. Now, the report was signed on 25/5/2024. Now, is he considered as indebted? No, because because ICA has expressed an opinion, because ICA was very silent, because when the guideline came, it didn't tell, okay, what if I have received the advance fees on a progressive basis? Is it considered as an indebtedness? No, the question here is very silent. They say you should not be indebted more than 1 lakh. But what I received was my fees only, no. So they gave an opinion that you can recover your fees on progressive basis rather than waiting till the end, and that is not considered as an indebtedness, so you will not be held guilty. Are you clear, friends? But other than that, you should not be taken. He received the audit fees of 2,50,000 in advance. You can receive it, but not considered as a guilty. R has been appointed as a statutory auditor of a listed company. The whole audit fees shall be payable in 4 installments of 3 lakh each, after every limited review is done on a quarterly basis. Full and final payment shall be done after the yearly financial audit is received. The firm received the first 2 payments on time, while the third payment, which was supposed to be received in the month of January, was received on 25th March, along with the remaining fees. Oh, you see, this is an examination question. Now tell me, as on the balance sheet date, you have received the fees of audit before you have rendered that audit service. Have you become disqualified? Is it considered as an indebtedness? Now, what is your opinion? You got the point, no? Understood the question here? See, previous thing was different. They said received on a progressive basis. Question was very silent here. When, how much? But here we know, because of the last delay, you must have negotiated, sir. If this is going to happen, how I can work? I may have to resign from the audit. Then they said, look, Baba, I'm sorry, because of the cash flow issues and all this happened. So what we will do, your last installment, 4th installment, we will pay before you complete the work only, because of this delay happened. Now, what is this case? No, you are not considered as a guilty, and you have to tell the research committee gave the opinion that such a progressive billing is not considered as an indebtedness at any stage of your audit. If you have received this money towards payment of taxes, can you adjust for your bill invoice? No. If you have received it, you have to use it for the said purpose only, and then you have to deposit in a separate bank account. This is what we have learned. Okay, so this is all about your indebtedness. R has been appointed. Okay, so 3 lakh, we already discussed this. So you are going to quote the section 140. Okay, first of all, council guidelines you are going to tell. Rule tell audit rules, person shall be disqualified to be appointed if he or his relative indebted in excess of 5 lakh rupees. Okay, so this is your section 141(3) in the qualifications for an auditor. However, the research opinion gave the opinion that this is not applicable for your own fees. So in the given case, he is not held guilty of professional misconduct. Okay, this also illustration 40 also we have seen. Progressive fees is also not a problem. Yes, I hope you are very clear. Any doubts? Any part? No. Now, directions in case of unjustified removal of the auditor. Chapter number 11. They said that if any chartered accountant is removed without giving opportunity of being heard, and if it is unjustified, because you always have got a obligation to inform to ethical standard board. So they brought one chapter. They said that if the institute feels that if one of the CA who has done their job very well, but still they have been removed because of the qualified opinion they have given. The institute brought one guideline. They said a member of the institute in practice follow the directions given by the council. You have to follow our council guidelines, whatever we will tell. And what we are telling now, in case if any person has been removed unjustified, we will tell that incoming auditor not to accept the engagement, and incoming auditor has to follow our direction. Despite if he has accepted it, he will become professional misconduct, guilty of professional misconduct, because he didn't follow our direction. So they say that they need to follow the directions of the committee or the council to him being incoming auditor not to accept the appointment. Because if we see that the previous auditor was removed unethically, just because he was honest, he was removed, he has every right to go and tell complaint to the ethical standard board. And ethical standard board, after going through, like I shared you one example, students, I shared you, no. So the previous auditor was left and the new article student was taken. Is it an unjustified removal? No, need not be. Why? Because see, the previous auditor may be too much adamant, okay, not flexible. But the company might have seen that that article student who was working with them is very brilliant, okay, come up with the very fantastic ideas, okay, automations they have done, and they have got a very good understanding about the business of the organization. So when that student qualified as a CA, so this previous company which you have already seen, they must have offered him, okay, will you come and join with us as an employee? No, this person must have rejected. No, say, I don't want to be an employee. I want to practice independently. Oh, then this company would have told, look, we would like to work with you. Will you accept your appointment as an auditor? And he said, okay, I'm ready to work with you as a statutory auditor. See, this is the power of service. Now, this person, the old auditor, felt very uneasy. He said, our article student got this work. How it is possible? Now, is this unjustified removal? No. He cannot go and tell ethical standard board, sir, I was removed. My article student only got this work. And no. Okay, but if it was unjustified removal, not giving opportunity of being heard and whatever it is, then ethical standard board would have told this new CA not to accept it. Next, guideline on tender. You remember, students, in chapter number 6, we told that minimum fees should be applicable, exclusive area. From where it came? They told from here only. Followed, no? In fact, those content we could have put here. Then clause would have become very small. See, why your explanation clause number 6, 7, 11 is very high? Because all the contents what you are seeing there is all come from your council guidelines. This is that 2008 guidelines. You followed, no? If I would have removed that portion from the clause, then your clause is very simple. Every clause is very small clause, only a provision there. So now what it says about your guideline about the tender? Yes, you should not respond if it is exclusively reserved for chartered accountant for audit areas. However, you can do it either if they are given minimum fees or it is open to other professionals also. What is that? Non-exclusive area. That's it. In all Q&As and all, we have already seen that one municipality corporation asset register they wanted to do, another bank quoted maximum fees. All the Q&A we have already seen in clause number 6. Is there any Q&A? No. Already we have discussed. Now, UDIN. Already we have seen this UDIN also. Okay. The unique document identification number. Whereas to curb the practices of bogus certificates, okay, because we don't know who is issuing the certificate, okay, so there is no validation, we don't know what is happening. So, in order to avoid this bogus and save various regulators from being misled, so council implemented UDIN mandatory for all kinds of certificates and reports, okay, from 2019. And they said a member shall generate UDIN for all the certifications, GST, tax audit reports, other reports, and it is mandatory from the following dates. For all the certificates from 1st of February 2019, for all GST and other tax audit reports from 1st April 2019, just within 2 months, and for all audit assurance engagements from 1st July 2019. So 2019, you remember, 1st Feb 1st April, 1st July. So this UDIN has become mandatory. And how they made it mandatory? They brought it as a chapter number 11. Okay, so this is all about your UDIN. I hope it's fine. You are clear? Yes. Very, very, very important about your guidelines for networking. Yes, good number of questions we can expect. And let's see, what does this council guidelines talks about the networking? Now, what is the concept of network? Network means you form the friendship. Okay, and you create one network for yourself. Now, to enhance the ability to provide professional services, firms frequently form larger structures with other firms and entities. Now, whether this larger structure create a network, should we recognize them as a network, depends upon the facts and circumstances and does not depend whether they are legally separate and distinct. Yes, it is very important. You need to know the concept of a networking now, because you remember some time back we spoke about a fees, that audit fees should be greater than your management consultancy fees, and they said that this is applicable for auditor plus your associates. Now what about the networking firms? There is one more thing, that's what we have to discuss now. First we need to know who is the network, whom we can consider as a network. Okay, for example, a large structure may be aimed only at facilitating referral work and it does not meet the criteria to constitute a network. So what is this network you have done? So you must have networked with one lawyer, another CA. So this CA is sitting in Bangalore. So if we come to know any work in Bangalore, he will refer to me. I will pay him some referral fees. And if I come to know some work in Bangalore, I will refer to him. He will pay me referral fees. If Chennai, he will tell me, or like this. So this is the network you must have formed by talking to different people at different places. Now, shall we consider this as a network? Need not be. Okay, because it should fulfill the criteria of network. Just because you refer to each other, we need not call it as a network. No, what exactly they do, we'll see. Alternatively, there can be one large structure with no legal existence. Something can have a legal existence. Just because of legal existence, we cannot say that they are network. So they may be aimed at a cooperation and share a common brand name, quality control system, professional resources. Then we may call them as a network. Okay, so this is the introductory part. So we have to go and understand the ICA Council guidelines. What exactly you mean to say network? How a network can be formed? How to be distinguished them from the other firms? Okay, can one firm be the part of multiple networks? Okay, these are all the provisions you need to understand, and you can expect good number of questions on this particular case. Okay, because this is recently it has come. Now, what does not create a network? Where a large structure is aimed at cooperation and clearly aimed at profit or cost sharing among the entities within the structure, it is deemed to be a network. Okay, the primary purpose is, see, why you form a network, Baba? To promote your business. So either you may try to aim to share that profit, or you want to share the cost, something like that you are trying to do. No? Then we can call it as a network. Like for example, you have got housing colony, 20 flats are there. We can call all the 20 people as one network, because they have to operate like a network. They cannot work independently there. They cooperate with each other in some aspects. Suppose they want to buy something, they may negotiate. To everyone together can negotiate. So this type of things they can do. So we can call them as a network. However, if you are sharing immaterial cost, okay, that is not considered as a network. So what is not network? You can make a note. First of all, if you are sharing immaterial cost, it is not network. If sharing of cost is limited only related to the development of audit methodology or training courses, that means your job is just to develop one new technique for audit or automation process for audit, still it is not considered as a network. Further, association of between the firm, otherwise unrelated entity, to jointly promote a service or develop a product also is not considered as a network. Plus, if you are facilitating referral work, that is also network. The first thing you need to be clear, if you need to form, what is not a network? Sharing of immaterial costs is not network. Only cost related to the development of audit methodology and training is not a worker. Jointly providing a service is not a network. That is, you and me can together, like we have got this multiple companies can, like banks can provide a loan, consortium loan. Like this, you are providing association between firm and unrelated entity to jointly provide a service. Means we got one audit in Bangalore. Now, who got this audit? I'm from Bangalore. I got one entity's audit in Bangalore. I don't know that environment. I don't have required people. So I got someone in the conference. I met with them and we together decided to have this audit. So this person locally from visit and I will visit on occasional basis. And we decided to share 50-50%. Now, did we become a network? No, because we are trying to provide joint service with an unrelated entity. Now, we are simply doing referral. Referral is also not considered as a network. And cooperation with another entity to respond jointly for a request for proposal or a tender. So, somebody asked for a tender. We don't know whether we will get the tender or not. But since the Mumbai company asked for a tender, me and my one friend in Mumbai, together we gave a quotation. No, still we are not networks. So are you clear about these 5 instances, students? So you should know what is not network. So you remember, you can always quote these 5 instances are not network. Immaterial cost, develops common cost for common audit methodology, jointly provide a service, or respond to a request for proposal, or a referral work. These are all not the 5 instances of network. Now, what is network then? If these are all the things are not network, when do you consider as a network? Okay. Where? So we can say these are all the points. See, what creates network? 1. Large structure is aimed at cooperation and entities within the structure share common ownership, control or management. It will be deemed to be a structure which can be achieved by contract or other means. Okay, that means you own something. It can be a brand what you may own. It can be some building you may own. You may control something. You may manage it together. Okay, we can consider them to be a network. So first of all, there should be a cooperation. It should be common. So you are cooperating with each other and you commonly own something. We can call it as a network. Or where the large structure is cooperating with each other and entities share common quality control policies and procedure. Everybody operates the same SOP. Why? Because this gives confidence. Like when we say EY is like a network. No, so many people have associated. In India, we can say, for example, I'm not sure, Bartley Boy and Co, BSR and Co. These are all the different entities who are associated. If you see the annual report, the signature is of someone else only there, some in another audit firm, but they are part of EY. But how they can become part of EY? Can you become part of EY? Yes, tomorrow you also can become part of EY. You can set up Mangalore EY. How? Following their quality control policies and procedures. Then we can call it yourself as a network. So are you clear, students, here? You are getting that feel? Okay, first of all, you should be owning something. Common ownership should be there. Operation should be there, mandatory, plus common ownership or common quality control policies and procedure. Or third scenario, where the structure is aimed at cooperation and they follow the common business strategy. Okay, so common business strategy means you focus only on GST related work. Nothing else. Only GST representation. That's the only thing you take, indirect taxation specialization. So tomorrow, anybody is going to become part of it, they will just look into the GST representation only. That's called a common business strategy. So sharing business strategy involves agreement by the entity to achieve common strategic objective, not deemed to be a network firm merely because it cooperates with another entity to request for a proposal. This is the point I have brought. See, here they said, actually they should have told at the beginning, an entity is not considered as a network if you and another friend jointly respond to one request for proposal, RFP. We cannot say that both have got the same strategy. No. You need to actually follow the same strategy. You should give up your other practice and follow only GST practice. If it is, I can say, then you are a network. Or fourth, where the last structure is aimed at cooperation and entities share the common brand name, say EY. Everybody follows the same brand name. Then we can call yourself as a network. A common brand name includes initials, common name. A firm deemed to be using a common brand name if it includes the common brand name as per or along with its firm name, where the partners of the firm signs an audit report. So when they put their brand name plus they put the brand of say EY, KPMG, we can call them as a network. Then fifth one, where a last structure is aimed at a cooperation and entities share a significant part of professional resources. That means you have got some people, say for example, you have appointed IT people, SAP consultants, full time. Now, who is paying them salary? All these people are paying them salary. Now, you have got different clients in SAP. This person has got different clients in SAP. So now, what happened? You cannot afford yourself to hire one full-time SAP consultant to address your problems. None of you can do that full-time. But together, you can set up one SAP practice hub or technology hub, AI hub, where these people who are full-time employees gives you different types of services on SAP, AI, etc. Who pays them salary? All these firms pays them salary together. So you are sharing a common professional resources. It includes your common systems to enable the firm to exchange information like client data, billing, time record. Like you could have purchased one enterprise license for all of you together. Or you may have common partners and staff, or technical departments, consulting, industry specific issues, transaction events, assurance events, audit methodology or audit manuals, or training courses and facilities. But somewhere you need to have the proper, one trainer is there. That all these firms have gone for one trainer only. And because the training is very costly, it is not immaterial. If it is immaterial, it would not have been a network. But since that is significant portion, this training, your technology, these are all significant portion of the cost of any firm. To avoid it, they have joined together. So, what is not a network? We have already seen. What is a network? So, it is a large structure aimed at cooperation and entities within the structure either aimed at sharing the profit or cost, which is not immaterial, common ownership of the resources, quality control policies, business strategy, brand name, or professional resources. So professional resources include systems, staff, technical departments, training, and significance depends upon the facts and circumstances of the case. Are you clear, student? Now, what is network and what is not a network? Yes. Now, the determination whether the professional resources shared are significant or not, that depends upon the circumstances of the case. Okay, same applies to the training, okay, your audit methodology, audit manual, because already we have seen that if it is an insignificant portion, then we cannot call it a network. When the shared resources involve exchange of people, such as staff, are drawn from the shared pool, then we can say that it is very significant. That means you have got some full-time chartered accountants, full-time, and they are expert in treasury audits. Now, these firms, whenever treasury audit comes, they will take them. And they will pay them salary together under a different brand head. Okay, they may establish as a consultancy service. Then we can call that these all firms are network firms. Now, forms of the network. There are different forms. You can form a network. Network can be constituted as a mutual entity which act as a facilitator for constituents of the network. And in this case, network does not carry on any professional practice at all. That means it's just one coordinator. Okay, it's just one understanding. It's a mutual entity. It is just a facilitator. There is no practice happening from this particular thing. Or network can be established as a partnership firm subject to maximum 20 partners. It can be established as an LLP because these are all the different forms you can do. Or it can be established as a private company subject to the guidelines of the practice in corporate form, which I told you, 28 type of services, you can separate it and form as a private company. Or network firm shall consist of sole practitioners and proprietors, partnership or any such professional accounts as may be permitted. Who can be part? PS can be part as a firm or practitioners or partnership firm. A firm can join only one network. You cannot be part of the multiple networks. And common partners are there. That also should join one network. Like what is this? So I have got one network of firm here. I have got one network of firm here. And you are one partner. If you are a sole trading person, either you can here or here, not both. Okay. That means you know that one firm can join only one network. Now there are two audit firms. Now each can join any one. But the problem, there are two partners here. And there is two partners or three partners here. And one partner is common for both. This firm has joined this network. Can you join some other thing? No. You also have to join here. Are you clear about this? Yes. So this is how you can form a network. You can have it as a separate legal existence, or there may not be a separate legal existence like this. But there is only an understanding. It is only a contract. Okay. You remember, no? Ind AS 111. You can be a joint arrangement, or it can be a joint venture. Okay, it can be joint operation or a joint venture. When you talk about joint operation, it doesn't have a separate legal existence. It's like a mutual entity, or it can be like a partnership firm, or it may have a separate existence like a limited liability company or a company. This is the four different forms. It can be only a contract here. Now, these are all the things who can be part of it and how they can be participate in the networks. Now, what is the provision related to the approval of the name? Okay, should they register? Yes, they have to register. Networks may have a distinct name which should be approved by the institute. And in case to distinguish a network from the firm of chartered accountants, how do you know? Because you might have established yourself as a partnership firm, and there can be more partners from different partnership firms. Now, are you a firm doing practice, or are you a network for doing some sharing of the resources? How to distinguish? That's why they said that. See, you understood what I'm trying to tell. See, first of all, there are two people, they can form one partnership. Here one partnership can be there. There can be one sole trader. Now you will form one firm here. Who are the partners? These are all the people are the partners. Or you can form an LLP, best thing. Because a partnership firm cannot become the partner in another firm, no. But a company can be in an LLP, partner in an LLP. Now, what is the work of this LLP? Do they practice? No. But they will do the sharing of the common resources. They are formed to share the brand. That means they don't have a practice of their own. Then how do you distinguish this LLP from, say, for example, a practicing LLP? That's why they say that whenever you form a network, you need to use the word and affiliates. See, and associates and co is for a practicing firms. So by looking at the name, say Nagabhushan Pai and Associates, you know that it is one practicing firm which is involved in the practice. But if you say Nagabhushan Pai and affiliates, that means, okay, there are different firms got connected to this to be used in place of and co and associates. It should not be used. And the name format they have told. Regulation 190 of the Chartered Accountant says that it shall be applicable to the network also. However, even if the name is approved and subsequently found to be undesirable, the said name may be withdrawn. What is this regulation 190 says? Okay, your name, you cannot randomly pick any name. It should be resembling, it should make sense to the network. Like for example, I can say Nagabhushan Pai, NPK and Associates, okay, NP, but I cannot bring my grandfather's name, Varada and Associates. No, such type of things are not permitted. Same things is applicable here also. When you form a network, the network name can be like picking the first letter from the each partners or last letter of the each partners, surname of the partners. Similar provisions are applicable here. Undesirable names you cannot give because it's not a medium to make an advertisement. And if you see each people, EY, Ernst and Young, okay, these are all people. These are the name of the people, Arthur and Anderson. Okay. The institute shall approve or reject the name and intimate it the same to the firm in form number A, which shall not be within 30 days of the receipt of the form. So whenever you send an application, within 30 days, institute should say whether you are okay, whether this name is okay or not. And mere approval of the name shall not entitle to carry on the practice, because you again you have to register. So first thing, just like say you want to open one in the email ID. First, are you not going to check whether the email ID is available or not? So you will try different combination, Nagabhushan.py, Nagabhushan.py 1983. So you will try. If you get one message, name is available, that is mean you have registered, you got an approval for the name. That's it. That does not mean email ID has got created. There are further provisions also. You have to give your mobile number, you have to give your address, then only, or you give your birth date, then only your email ID will get created. And when the email ID is created, it's like a registration. Approval of the name is not a registration. Approval is you are checking whether can I use this name. For 3 months, it will be available. So once you apply for the name, within 30 days, ICA will tell whether okay or not okay. Mere approval will not allow you to carry on the practice, because if you want to carry on the practice, you have to do the registration. I hope this flow is clear. So after the name is approved, the institute is going to reserve the name for 3 months from the date of approval. Within that, you should apply again, get yourself registered. Network shall get itself registered by applying in form number B. So form A is for checking whether name is okay. Once they say okay, you have to apply in form number B within 3 months, failing which name will get cancelled. Then you cannot submit. Then again you have to submit form number A and ask, sir, if the name is okay, can I register? Then within 3 months you need to apply for in form number B. Registration is mandatory. Without that you should not carry on any business. If different Indian partners are networked with the common multinational accounting firm, they are considered as a part of the network. Now, listing of the network's entities outside India. Duly authorized representative of the Indian member. Okay, so you must have made a partnership or network with the one multinational accounting firm. Now, the authorized representative, that means what is the responsibility of an Indian firm now? So it is not that EY is going to come. Okay, if you have become the part of EY, you are the authorized representative of the Indian member firm, shall file a declaration with the institute in form number D within 30 days of date of entering into the network arrangement. That means they must have accepted you. Like for example, EY must have got registered in USA. Now for them, they already formed as a network. Now how new entities will join them? See, your registration is done. At that time there were say 16 partners. First you applied in form number A, you got the permission for the name, and you must have found one name called the ABC affiliates. Now 17th person want to come. You can add them. What if you are you want to join to a foreign network? In case duly authorized representative of the Indian partner shall file declaration form number D within 30 days of the arrangement. So first there would have been an arrangement to include you. Within that arrangement, within 30 days you have to file. Proprietor, individual members, partnership firms, as well as members in LLP shall be permitted to join such network with entities outside India, provided they join only one such network, and common partners shall join one network. So you can have only one network in India or outside India. Okay, you cannot join yourself into multiple networks. It becomes too much complicated because your fees has to be tracked. You cannot charge, because what happened because of this network? See, complexities will arise. Now in Uttarakhand, there is one shutter audit. It may have one branch in Kerala, Trivandrum. Because of the network, you can give non-starter audit here, starter audit here. So this type of issues, complexities will come. This company can have 250 types of subsidiaries, 50 subsidiaries and 120 joint ventures. And you are such a big network like EY. So this tracking becomes very difficult. If you are also, see, if you are a network firm, then EY can easily find out, okay, how much services you are giving, what type of non-assurance services you are giving. But if you are giving in two firms, then EY will get caught. Because if I permit one particular audit firm to be part of EY also, KPMG also, and this firm is giving books of account service to one of the subsidiary. Now that a parent want to give the statutory audit to EY. EY they easily find out from its associates and networks, is anybody giving any non-assurance services to someone. But you are giving these non-assurance services through another network. This becomes a very difficult task. They say that no, Baba, this type of things you don't do. You have to be the part of only one network. You cannot be the member of two networks. Okay, so listing of the networks outside India, these are all the provisions. Now, change in the constitution of the registered network. In case of any change in the constitution, that means any new entry happens, or 17th person enters, or 14th person exits, you have to communicate the same to institute in form number C within a period of 30 days from the change of the constitution. And if you are going to become the part of that MNCs, multinational companies like, or the multinational organization, okay, member of the organization outside India, a multinational accounting firm, it should be in the form number D. You have to communicate within 30 days of the agreement. So I hope it's very clear, students. So form number A is for firm name, network name. Form number B is for registration of the network. These are all one time. Then form number C for entry plus exit happening into the network. This can happen regularly within 30 days. And form number D is entry into a multinational accounting firm, which also can happen regularly. But you can join only one audit firm, one network firm. Ethical compliances. Okay, once the relationship of network arises, it is necessary for such network to comply with all the ethical requirements. I told you, if you are one of the network firm is giving you statutory audit work, all of the network firms is debarred from management consultancy services, which is told in section 144. That's why audit firm has to think twice before becoming part of this, because they may lose lot of opportunities. If one entity is into cooling off period, like they have completed 5 years of tenure or 10 years of tenure, next 5 years they have to be into cooling off. This is going to be applicable for all the network firms. That's why somebody has to be careful before they become the part of the network. If they have got benefits, then only they should be part, because ethical requirement becomes applicable. It says that one firm of the network is the statutory auditor, then associate, including the network firm. That means associates and network firms shall not accept the internal audit or bookkeeping of such firm, professional assignments prohibited by the statutory audit of the firm. This is the problem. That's why you have to follow the ethical requirement. Now, ceiling of non-audit fees. Now we'll come to you and say, sir, what about the PSU, listed entity, have a public company having turnover of more than 50 crore? You said sometime that audit fees of firm plus associate should be greater than management consultancy fees. Is it applicable for network also? Yes, it is also applicable for network, but we will give 3 times limit. For network firms who is doing the statutory auditor, including his associates concerned having common partner, it will be same in the head notification. That means if you are giving service, it's the same thing what we have seen in the notification, same thing is applicable. Your audit fees should be more than non-audit fees. But for other firms of the same network, collectively, it is 3 times of the fees paid. Yeah, because we cannot restrict it like that. Then nobody will form the network only, first of all. So I'll show you in the form of a picture, I'll show you what is the ceiling. In case of the rotation of the firms applicable, no member of the network firm shall accept the appointment during the cooling period in place of the member network which is retiring. So cooling period is also applicable to everyone. Network may advise the network to the extent permitted by the council guidelines. The firms constituting the networks are permitted to use the word network firms in their professional statement. They can put that. They can tell that we are part of so and so network. They should comply with the ethical standards prescribed by the council from time to time. Okay, what is this fees related? They said 3 times. You remember, students, I told you this is the PSU which gave one audit work to AB Associates. Now this is the statutory audit and fees is 1 crore rupees. Now there is AB associates having a common partner, same partner is here, or there is a relative. The relative is also the director here, or it can be a private limited company. They are giving management consultancy service. So my question to you, what should be the maximum fees for management consultancy service? 99.99 lakhs. It cannot exceed 1 crore. Followed? But what if other network firms are giving? Okay, the other network firms are giving some services. Then that ceiling is 3 crore. Okay, max to max, other network firms can give service to the worth of 3 crores. But you and your associates cannot exceed the audit fees. Maximum 1 crore only. Okay, so this firm can give, yeah, obviously, because you see, no students, if my network firm is getting the benefit, why? What I'm going to get? Now, can you say, okay, I can give an example. I can give one simple example. You are given audit fees for audit assignment for 1 crore. And your one of the network firm is given management consultancy service of 3 crore because maximum permitted is 3 crore. Now, can this PSU say this auditor, look, if you give the qualified opinion, we will cancel this contract. I say, get lost, cancel. For me, what? Because this network firm won't pay. We formed one network to share them common expense, just to have a branding. If you are going to cancel his contract, what is for me? He is not sharing anything out of 3 crore to me, no. But if this 3 crore is going to this associate, I am going to lose because I am already a partner there. Or in this firm, my wife is the director, then I'm going to lose. Or my firm only given, I'm going to lose. That's why 1 crore should be the maximum for management consultancy. For others, it can be 3 crores. I hope you have understood the logic. So, effect of registration of the network with the institute is deemed to be the public notice of the network. Therefore, consent of the client will deem to be obtained. Now, internal bylaws of the network. Okay, so they say the institute said that you only can decide your bylaws. To streamline network shall formulate the bylaws. Bylaws may contain the following clauses. So they gave one broad guideline. They said it's like articles of association, bylaws. They said you only decide what is your terms and conditions. However, we will give one broad guidelines about appointment of the management committee. Okay, from among the managing partners of the firms or network firms, the maximum and minimum number of members of the committee shall also be agreed upon. Administration of the network, like who should do it, who should take active part, who should contribute the membership fees, what should be the way, should it be paid in advance or on a weekly basis, monthly basis, identifying the partner of any member firms to be responsible for the engagement. Okay, who can be the engagement partner? If the dispute comes, how it should be settled? Should you go for arbitration and reconciliation, or should it be addressed here only? Who should be responsible for development of training module, issue of newsletters, how the library has to be created, what is the peer review mechanism for our firm? So these are all the different guidelines which our ICA Council guidelines said. They said on this basis you can develop your internal bylaws, but your bylaws should contain all these parts. That's why ICA gave one broad guidelines what should be part of your bylaws, like appointment of a technical director, compensation to the members for the resources drawn. Now how this should happen, you decide it. They didn't tell. Like library, you have to talk common pool of resource, but who is responsible, how it should be developed, is it digital, manual, that is your internal call, you take care. Now these clauses are illustrative examples of the network firms, like if it is established as a mutual entity or a partnership firm, AB and affiliates. If it is an LLP, AB affiliates LLP. If it is the company, AB affiliates private limited or AB affiliates limited. Yes, sir. So with this, we are done with the network. Okay. AJ and Associates and PK and Co. joined the network firm A to Z and affiliates. Okay. How it is established? It is established as a firm or mutual entity, not a LLP, not a company. Registered with the institute. Now, AJ Associates was the statutory auditor of B Limited for past 10 years. Due to rotation, AJ has to retire now, and B Limited retires AJ Limited and appoints PK and Co. Who is that? A network firm as an auditor, not permitted, because ethical considerations has to apply. If the statutory auditor retires, all the firms which are part of the network of this statutory auditor also disqualified from appointment. The mandatory cooling period applies to them also. So PK cannot be appointed. They are disqualified. Yes, let us see some questions. CA in practice specializing in the field of information systems audit, considered to be the one of the expert. Okay, sorry, this is the corporate form of audit. Okay, so we don't have any questions on the network guidelines, I believe. No, here there is one guideline. Okay, here there is, okay, we'll see this. What is this corporate form? Anyhow, we already discussed this corporate form. CAR is the CA in practice specializing in the field of information audit. He is considered to be the expert in the field. Now, HKC Limited, a company engaged in rendering management consultancy, offered him to appoint the managing director. Now, can he become this company's managing director? Yes, provided HKC will give only 28 type of management consultancy services, not something extra. CAR accepted the position of the director without obtaining prior permission of the institute. One of his friends informed that now he cannot retain full-time certificate of practice. No, this is wrong. He can retain, just cannot do the attestation function, train the article, comment with reference to the provisions. Now, can he be the MD? Now, clause number 11, part 1, first schedule says he can guilty of engaging in any business other than permitted by the council. Now, council has permitted to become the managing director, whole-time director or manager, which is exclusively rendering management consultancy and other services. So, this complies with the condition. The name of the management consultancy shall be approved by the institute. Members can retain full-time COP. No restriction on quantum of the equity holding. They can have the equity, they need not have the equity. They can continue full-time practice also. They can train the article students also. So, the action of CAR is valid because you are not required to take the permission here, because it's more like a practice only. Please understand. Is it necessary that if you have to do HR appointment, okay, HR services you want to give to some client, are you supposed to take the permission? No, because institute told that 28 type of services you can do it. But if you are going to corporate form, then you need to get it approved by the institute of the company. Okay, we are assuming that this HKC is already approved by the company, approved by the ICA. So to become the managing director, you need not take the permission because it's more like your practice only. Now, Subha is a senior partner. He and few other firms specializing in different sector agreed to form the network to enhance their service portfolio. They applied to the ICA for approval of the name in form number A and granted Subha and affiliates, okay, mutual entity or firm. They are under the process of submitting relevant forms, form number B to ICA for registration. Simultaneously, one of the member firms in the group signs a collaboration agreement with the International Accounting Network. Okay, one firm becomes the partner of a foreign firm. Based on the fact, CS Subha and Associate, with regard to guidelines of the networking issue, registration. Okay, so you have to talk about the registration of the network. Application should be given within 30 days of the approval of the name. Okay, if it is not, then name will be cancelled. It should not, network shall get registered by applying in form number B. Okay, registration of the network is mandatory, and different Indian firms are networked with the common multinational accounting firm. They shall be considered as a part of the network. So, listing of the network in outside India. Okay, same provisions you are going to quote here. Proprietor membership, LLP or any other firm can be permitted to act, permitted to join. Okay, so this is actually what they told. They asked you to give the guidelines. Guide them regarding the guidelines of networking with regard to registration of networks within the entities and outside India. Okay, so this theory already we have seen. You have to just write these two theory. This theory you have to tell. So you can mark this as a important. Okay, no, it has already come for the exam, so you can exclude it. Yes, this is all about your network firms. I hope it's clear, students. Yes, only one question has come. Yes, so we will continue this logo guidelines and all in the evening session. In the next class, we will continue. Yeah, by tomorrow, I think we'll be in a position to complete it.